There's only one rule in this fucking jungle. When the lion's hungry, he eats.
Too much smoky coming like Canada. Got kush smoke all in me lungs. I'm running from blood, but I'm lacking the stamina. I'm whipping it smart and knocks in me head, but we gonna come fuck with a canister. No days off, I was pumping with nothing. I'm money all over me calendar. In this game of life, you're an amateur.
Welcome, episode 2. Okay, so a little bit of a mess up in what was going to happen. So I filmed basically with the PCA weekend that's just gone. It's been roughly a year since I've actually competed myself. So I done the runner shows last time a year ago, basically these last couple of weeks. Those are the runner shows that I basically done at the beginning of the year. So anyway, I thought, right, what I'm going to do is like my first experiences, my experiences with the PCA, my experience as a first timer, my experience on how to handle preps and post diets and stuff. However, my DJI corrupted on my iMovie, therefore I've got to wait for the DJI to come back because it's currently not in the house. Therefore, that means I'm going to actually do the Q&A that I put up like 2 weeks ago, maybe even a week ago. I don't know, like 3-4 days. I asked like 3-4 times, so I got I think 12 questions altogether. So I'll go through the ones that I thought were pretty good. There's a mixture of bits and bobs. So it's just going to be a general physique update. So I'm going to chuck in a little bit of a physique clip in this video. I'll probably put it at the end, just a little like outro, see how I'm looking. I know a lot of bodybuilders and a lot of people, like even people who are obviously way better shape than I'll ever be. People who are on gear and stuff, and like take my hat off to them. I think I was watching Jay Davis's YouTube this morning, and he was talking about like there's nothing really to see. However, it's quite interesting to see because seeing people peeled is always impressive, but it's always nice to have a gauge of how much body fat people do actually have still on them, being 13, 14, 12, 10, 11, you know, those kind of realms weeks out, because it's mad, and it also helps you understand how different people are in the way they carry weight and where they carry their body fat. So I really like seeing it. So a lot of people are very like a gatekeeper. Obviously it comes into confidence also. A lot of people obviously don't have the confidence in it, in showing it. I certainly don't. However, I am forcing myself to do it because I'm hoping people, when they do see it, is they probably think to me, he actually got a lot of body fat on him still, and he's still 12 weeks out. You'd be surprised at what you can do in that realm, and surprising what can happen and how much can change. Normally it's a case of like, you know, 11, 10 weeks, you don't really see much, then 9, and then randomly they'll say they get to the 8th week out kind of mark, and you're thinking, me, he's changed loads. So it's just nice to see that at times. So I'm gonna include it. Like I'm gonna do body updates in each of my videos. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more of an insight and a little bit more of a transparent side of things. But yeah, that was nothing in regards to like Jay, just saying to him that if he ever watches this, which I don't think he will, if you want to show us the big boys glutes, then I'd be greatly appreciated. No homo, hashtag. Same with D-Mac, Darren McNamara that's turned pro. I think it took him like 6 weeks of his actual YouTube series to come and show something, to like say yeah, he was happy with visuals enough where he looked fucking unbelievable. He looks like my kind of level of, fuck me, he's not that far off being stage conditioned, and if you see someone like that, it's a freak. So yeah, I just wanted it because it's mad, because it's another really interesting thing for people to take into account, that this is not just a bodybuilding thing, this is also people who go into a diet. Everyone's eyes get fogged. Everyone believes because someone has a six-pack, or because someone has gnarly quads, or because someone has veins all around them, or someone has a phenomenal shape, they still have their insecurities because they know what their body is capable of. They know what they've seen maybe before. So their level of expectation is so high that they really struggle with body dysmorphia. And it's massive in bodybuilding, more than probably people who just diet. Like I have mates, and I've been myself, that would wear a t-shirt, you know, in environments of when it's really hot, and you're thinking, why don't you just take your top off? I'm probably one of the most insecure when it comes to that, and I know why it's come. It's because I know my potential. I know where I've been now, because I've been like really lean. It's really hard looking at yourself with a little bit of fat on. So you've also got to take that into account and just be kinder to yourself, really. Like, we're all in the same fucking boat. No one really cares. Like, the only person who cares is you. I'm trying to get the point in no matter if you're a bodybuilder or if you're someone just simply going for a diet, having insecurities and being like worried about the way you look and stuff like this it's just part of being human. And unfortunately, it's something that social media has obviously drilled into people. So I want to try and be a little bit more transparent when it comes to that in regards to, like I said, my check-ins and product videos. Again, I hate it and I know it's out there for the world to see, but I'm hoping I look back in 12 weeks time and being like, yeah, I'm really happy I actually showed that, because it shows people that you can have a large amount of body fat on you and still, you know, be an inspiration to someone, because someone's out there is still, although you feel like you're pretty heavy or you're pretty fat, there's plenty of people that want to be in your position. So I'm hoping that this camera angle is pretty decent. Let me just judge you a little bit because you're on my Mickey Mouse spotlight. I know, I'm such a masculine man. So I got that for £8. Let me just do down there a little bit more. There we are, my central. Might not, you know, all over the shop guys, wait 2 seconds. This is the joy. There we are. Right. Oh, we're looking large. Like this, can I start getting this fucking camera and going a minute? No. Unfortunately, not lean yet. Anyway, right, this getting good, is it? So Q&A. First one I've got. Favourite car you've owned? People that know me and are very close to me know that I've probably had 6-7 cars in the last like 3 years. I'm a person that typically gets bored of things really quickly, so it's hard. But the favourite car I've ever had is very hard because I've had a lot of really nice ones, and they've all had like different kind of strengths, weaknesses, different bits and bobs that you like about them. But I had a 5-litre yellow and black striped Mustang, and I cannot explain how much I miss that car. The reason being why I had to get rid of it, it was just because I was doing so much driving and it done on average 15 miles per gallon. And when you're spending up to £150 a week on a car, you know, that's not including any other bits and bobs like your insurance and tax, because the tax bracket itself was like nearly 800 quid. So you imagine I was spending a lot of money just on that car running it. So if anything happened to it, which it did, someone kicked the wing mirror off on like fucking Boxing Day, dickheads, which was a really hard part to source second-hand, got like 400 quid, fitted it myself luckily. But you know, it's just one of those things. It's, you have an expensive car, the V8, the sound of it, I had Roche Axleback exhaust tips on it, so it wasn't like droney when you drove it. It was stupidly quick. I drove it to Bruges, I drove it to Lille, I drove it all the way through France basically, and ended up going into Belgium and stuff when I lost my head, and spent 3 days traveling all basically France and Belgium, and it was the best experience I've ever had. Done it solo, and I don't know whether it's because of that kind of moment, but it stays so true to my heart. And the sound of it, the V8 like rumble, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I know, it was such a sick fucking demonstration of what it sounded like. Kids loved it, which was the only one annoying thing, because every little kid you wanted was like, rev it! Obviously I revved it. And it was rapid, absolutely rapid. I went on the Autobahn and I did 180 on it, in it, and it felt like it could have gone a lot more. And that was on shitty tyres and not the greatest of brakes. That's the reason why I stopped basically. So rapid, definitely my favourite car I've ever owned. I've had a couple. I've obviously got a Supra now, which is phenomenal. That's like that's like a proper sports car, so you can actually drive the shit out of it. So when you go in Wales, you have lots of twisty bends and stuff, so I basically end up smashing the shit out of that. I had a Jag F-Type. It was my dream car, one of the best sounding cars ever in terms of just no modifications to it, and it sounded outrageous. Phenomenal to drive, but it was the biggest headache I've ever had in my entire life. I spent so much money on it, trying to keep it on the road, basically, little faults, especially electrical kind of stuff. And once cars start having electrical gremlins, that's it, then you've got to cut ties. I lost love of it. That was it. Got rid of it. But I've enjoyed my sports car super right now, and I'm super happy with it. So yeah, that's my favourite car. Next question is dream car. I'm probably going to be really basic, and I'm sure a lot of people probably would say something that they're car enthusiasts, and that's just going to be a Lamborghini SVJ. I think they're the most phenomenal sounding cars ever made, and I absolutely love them. So if I'd say top 3 of F40, sorry, that's my old school one. My more modern one, I would say then, is an SVJ, and then if I had a hypercar, I can't go past the Pagani. I just can't. Pagani is just the one for me. I just think if I'd ever won hundreds of millions, and that's the first car I would go and buy. Favourite film, again, it's solid because there's so many different genres and different moods and vibes. Like, I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I'm a big Marvel / DC fan. So the film I watch the most, because I can just watch it over and over, is Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's Joker, one of the greatest acting performances of all time. Series-wise, I'd probably go down Slow Horses. Absolutely love that. That's Gary Oldman. So that's another one from the Batman, probably why I like it so much. But yeah, I think that's phenomenal. So if you've never watched any of those, I'm sure everyone has probably watched Dark Knight. I'm trying to think of maybe one that's maybe a bit less popular, maybe people haven't watched, that's very good. Tropic Thunder is one of my favourite comedies of all time. I just think Robert Downey Jr. in that is absolutely phenomenal. And unfortunately, that type of, acting and stuff these days is just not going to be allowed. Everyone's too fucking soft. Everyone worries about it. Like Ricky Gervais said, your opinion, you choose whether or not to be offended by it. So yeah, that's before I get into a rant about that. So Tropic Thunder, that has to be my comedy. So my action wise, like I said, I'll say Dark Knight. And then I don't really watch scary films, as I'm a bit of a pussy. I just sit there like waiting for something to happen. And but it's so scary, I wouldn't say so. Like, I loved it. Final Destination, love those types of things. In terms of like The Conjuring and stuff like that, I can't watch that. It'll strip me the fuck up, and I will literally just sit in bed with the fucking lights on. I'm a kid when it comes to that. It does turn me into a fucking child. So yeah, that's whatever you make of them. That's favourite films. So another one. Okay, so we've got football now. So World Cup predictions. How do I think England will do? Obviously, it's a little bit late. It's in the tournament, so World Cup predictions. I don't think we'll look past France. I think France look like the best team by far of the tournament. Argentina, I would say, are the ones that are moving along nicely, playing nice football. Whenever you've got Messi in your team, something can happen. So yeah, I would say Argentina and France is my final. I'd probably go those two. I have Spain also, just because of how dominant they are in possession. Like I was saying this today, funny enough, to the lads in the group chat. They just seem to just squeeze the life out of teams they play by just holding onto the ball so long, and once they're tired, it'll just kill you off. Like Yamal, I've never seen someone be so persistent in just taking someone on. Like how many people, Madueke for example, for England, goes to take on a player, once fails, and that's it. He doesn't take anyone on them for another 60 minutes and just kicks crosses in or just fucking passes the ball back. Whereas Yamal, for some reason, just doesn't get bothered, and I think that's one of the traits of like the best types of wingers, and probably how it relates into like bodybuilding. If something doesn't work out, doesn't mean you just fucking stop. You try and find different avenues of how to proceed forward. So although I'm going to turn that into a little bit of a, a fitness kind of thing, a lifestyle, then I think that's pretty a good way of looking at it. But he just does not fucking stop. So yeah, Spain, Argentina, France, they're probably the top 3 that I'm thinking about. In terms of how do I think England will do, obviously really struggled against Congo. Look, they had loads of chances. However, I think if Visa, however you say his name, if he finishes and puts us up 2-0, then obviously it's going to be too much. But that's what we're all talking about. What ifs? It didn't happen. Kane is fucking Mr. England. He is one of the greatest England players ever. His finishing is unbelievable. As long as you've got a Kane and you've got a Bellingham, you've got a chance. Simple as that, really. How do I think they'll get on? I think Azteca with Mexico now is going to be solid. You're playing Mexico in the Azteca. They've played 88 games and they've only ever lost 2 in competitive football. There's 2,000 meter altitude? I just think that's a fucking really hard game. If you get through that, I think, yeah, you've got no problem then. I'm going to go with Brazil and I'm going to go Argentina. I don't think you should be scared of anyone if you beat that Mexican side, because I think that's the hardest conditions you'll do. Tuchel says all right things. I would love to be managed by him. I'd be one of those players that actually gives, because he seems like he just gives everyone motivation, a bit like what Klopp used to do. Maybe not as charismatic as him, but yeah, definitely. I definitely think England can. I think they will beat Mexico. It will be a lot harder than he thinks. People think. Brazil, I don't think look great in midfield at all. England's midfield is definitely better. So that'll come down to England's defence versus Brazil's midfield. Really? If England's defence can actually look like a unit for once, then you'll get away with it, because you've got Vinny Jr., you've got Cunha, and I just think that that's fucking scary for some of the English boys. But I could see him beating it. So semis, yeah, I don't think you beat Argentina. So I'll stand on ground. I think if you play Brazil, I don't think you beat Brazil. But I can see how you do beat them. But I would say, if I was betting, I would say you wouldn't beat them. So we'll go with that, okay? Next one is gaming, okay? Did you like Black Myth Wukong? So anyone doesn't know that this is like a Chinese mythological game that I ended up playing when I was injured for a week. Basically, I pulled my back, so I had a week off, so I couldn't really do anything. Len Beanbag bought Black Myth Wukong. And basically, you play a monkey of like an ancestry, and you just have to fight a load of gods and stuff. These gods being like tigers and bulls and mythological creatures of Chinese mythology, obviously. And I would say it was one of the best games, other than God of War, that I've ever played. It's such a good game. I would honestly give it 9 out of 10, and I don't give many games like a 10 ever. God of War, the first one, I thought was just ridiculous, and I couldn't get off the thing. And obviously the second God of War Ragnarok. So God of War 4, I think it is the original one for PS5, and then God of War Ragnarok. Those are because the next one says favourite game. So I'm a massive Greek mythology / Norse mythology guy. I absolutely love that kind of genre and that mythology. So I'm really invested about it because I know about it, so I can take in the stories a lot more. So I would say Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Again, this is purely a preference because I love Greek mythology. And that's all built on Leonidas, and basically him being a descendant of Leonidas, the Spartan, leader of 300, if you want to try and think about it. And then God of War 4 and Ragnarok. I thought they were both phenomenal games. So yeah, I'll go with that. What hobbies do you have outside of bodybuilding? Good question. I used to be football. At the moment is golf. Golf is my outlet, rest day. I go and play golf. I try and do 2-3 times a week if I can. My handicap's like a 12. Between 12 and 14. It's not official, so I don't really know. I play a society where I play off 12 and I still score relatively decent highly. So I would say I'm between a 12 and a 14. I think 14 would probably be a little bit more on the end of being a bandit, because I have scored really low 80s. So I would say, 12 to a 14 handicap. And then snowboarding / skiing. I do that every single year, other than last year, because of prep and stuff. I basically no, I'm lying. I did snowboard last year. So yeah, snowboard and skied. Yeah. That's hobbies. I'm on bodybuilding now, which is okay. So we're on the hobbies of bodybuilding. That was ticked off. Top 3 bodybuilders currently and past. I absolutely love Andrew Jacked. I just think he's mesmerising. I suppose I went open then in my head, rather than thinking of classic, which is weird, because I'm trying to think of as many classic guys which I'm just blown away by, which obviously there's loads, but obviously since Bumstead, I think I'm very much an older kind of generation of classic kind of bodybuilders. But one of my ultimate physiques of all time is Logan Franklin in classic physique. Is Arnold looking 25 and is 24? Just give me it. Just all of it. Makes me question my sexuality. It's literally that good. I watch videos of him probably once a week doing his posing routine. I watch him all the time. I follow him. I love him. I think he's phenomenal. We'll go with Andrew Jacked, Logan Franklin, current, and then is there anyone that's really that I really like looking at? Niall Dobbins, obviously. I just think he's just a made-up character. He just doesn't look real. In my opinion, it's actually a disadvantage of how much of a genetic freak he is. And I don't know whether that's going to make sense to a lot of people, but because he looks like he's been drawn and there's no one else you can put him next to say he was similar as, I think someone said, is it Buchanan? I think he's an old bodybuilder that had a 24-inch waist and just like monstrous shoulders. But because Niles got such monstrous legs as well, he just literally looks like he's been drawn on a character, you know, in a comic book. So I don't understand how judges are meant to fucking judge him. Who can they compare him against? It's just him, so unique. And I do think that's his biggest disadvantage, which is weird because he is phenomenal. So yeah, Niall I just think is just a different specimen. I don't think he's human basically. So yeah, that's fun. Andrew Jack, Logan Franklin, Mamoli. I really like Mamoli. So it's another short king. So I got a little bit of height ratios in there. Past bodybuilders. I can't go past Arnold. Arnold is the king. Mike Mensa, another I thought was phenomenal. With Sean Ray, Kevin Levrone, like that kind of era. Yeah. Let's take a couple from there because it's really hard to name that many. But those are like Sean Ray is one of my favourites of all time as well. Unbelievable. So if I had to have actual favourites of all time, it would be Sean Ray, Arnold. Again, they're bigger guys. And Logan. I just go those three. Those are the three that I look at and I just think, yeah, I would love to look like all three of those. Should you experience multiple coaches? I technically have. So my opinion with it is you just find the coach that works for you, which one you click with. If you have one that you don't get on with, or someone that doesn't listen to you, or someone that doesn't do what you expect from a coach, then don't be afraid to leave that person. I mean, if you're paying for a service at the end of the day, if you don't feel like you're getting that service or you're getting what you want from a coach, then leave them. Go and get a different coach. If your expectations of a coach is to be a certain standard and your expectations are far too high and you want them to basically be a therapist, on the other hand, then I think you need to look fucking inwards and get a therapist, not a coach. And speak to them every single night and think it's acceptable to message them at 11 o'clock at night and asking them how their day is. You've got to be able to have a little bit of understanding that it is also a job for them and their job is not to be the nicest bloke in the world to you. Their job is to give you results and get you to certain places. So what I would say is to experience different coaches 100%, because or you could be extremely fortunate and have one coach and he'd be phenomenal and he works instantly with you. That's absolutely fine, and you should hopefully that happens to everyone. However, you may try one coach and you just think, you know what, he's not listening. You might try one coach and just think, you know what, I've actually been with this coach now for a number of months, a number of years, whatever it may be, and be like, I think I want to try something different. And it is your fucking money. You were the one who wants to spend it. Could you get better results by actually sticking to that fucking coach and just sticking to everything he says? Yes. But if that person isn't responding to you or is taking too long for you and is not doing what you want from a coach, then just fucking bin him off. Simple as that, really. So yeah, in terms of experiencing different coaches, yeah, why not? Like, you know, but at the same time, it also comes to a point where is it you who's the problem, or is it the coach that's the problem? Keep that in mind. If it fits your macros versus a meal plan. I'm going to try and just spam all these off because otherwise this video's going to be mental, alright? So, in terms of if it fits your macros versus a meal plan, I would say that if you're relatively new and naive to bodybuilding or weight loss or whatever it may be, a journey of where you want to start losing body fat or seeing results and stuff, you should 100% have a meal plan, okay? If you're very new. You should start learning the basic things that you need in your diet, the macros, the micros, and understanding what it takes and what you should be eating per meal, why you need fats at a certain time, why you potentially need lots of carbs around your training window. Start learning and developing your knowledge from your coach, because that's something from your coach you should be getting, is knowledge of why you're doing things, understanding why you're eating in certain ways and certain patterns, why he's giving you more carbs before your workout and at the end of your workout, maybe giving you into workouts. Ask a coach, why are you doing it? Ask them, can they educate you in a certain way? Because most top level coaches will give you time of day and they will tell you, because they prefer that. They'd rather someone that can ask good questions than someone that just says, yep, Or goes the other way. Like I said earlier, don't be that person that then is asking them at 10:30 how their day is, or if they could have red sauce instead of brown sauce. Like, you know, that question could probably wait, can't it? So yeah, in terms of if it fits your macros, do I think it can work? 100%. I done most of my prep on if it fits your macros, my first prep, and I got fucking peeled. I had a pancake with 2 mini fun-sized Twixes rolled up in the pancake every single night before bed. And that was my one way of knowing that I would not cheat on my diet. Now looking back on it, was it optimal? Probably fucking not. But did I get absolutely peeled doing it? Yes, I fucking did. Is it a more optimal way of doing it? 100%. However, can you do it? Yes. But what I would say to if it's macros is obviously when you start playing around with pulling things in and out, then that's going to play a different role in terms of the amount of volume you're eating. So, you know, the amount of potato you can eat in comparison to a squares bar. Like, one is 60 grams, one is going to be 400 grams or 300 grams, for example. Or 2 squares bars is equivalent to 500 grams of potatoes, whatever it may be. So the weight fluctuations are going to be a lot more likely. And also, if you are going to do it, and you do have a coach, just tell your fucking coach. Say, look, boss, I don't like potatoes. I want to change it to rice. Or I don't like rice today. Am I going to substitute this to noodles, okay? So he knows that if anything happens, fluctuations in your plan, then he has a fucking idea of why the fluctuations happen. Just be honest. Just be open. We all do it. Every now and then, I'll run out of banana. Guess what? I'll put a bit of honey in my fucking thing. Is it the end of the world? No. Just should I tell my coach? Yes, you fucking should. So simple as that. So if it's macros, yes, it works versus a meal plan. If it's macros, I would say is more of an advanced technique because you're someone that understands macros and micros and you're understanding the body. I would say meal plan is then for someone that basically is fairly new, or someone who really enjoys structure, or someone who can only stick to structure and is not someone that will just fucking go on hell for leather and start making themselves 40 bowls of 0 sugar jelly. Again, I ate 0 calorie jelly and I ate 0 lollipops in my first prep, and I got peeled. But it's one of those things. You need to start just speaking to your coach if you've got a coach, and if you haven't got a coach, then get a plan in place. Okay, what's my diet like now? Very simple. It basically is rice, cream of rice, potatoes. Those are my carb sources. Then I have bacon medallions, eggs, chicken breast, lean mince. That's my sauces. And then I have asparagus, courgette, and spinach. Those are my 3 kind of like micronutrients. Alongside, I do have pineapple as well. I don't know whether I said that just now, but yeah, that's basically me covering everything. I have apple also, because sometimes if I've run out of pineapple or I've run out of banana, then I'll substitute it in an apple. What advice would you give to someone that doesn't like veg? Find the veg that you like. Maybe take reds and greens as well, just in case, as you don't eat enough. However, I think if you don't like courgettes, just season the shit out of it. Like, put some all-purpose seasoning on it, cook it in a frying pan, bosh, brand new. Just tastes like nothing other than the seasoning. Get it in there. Spinach is the same in my opinion. I don't think it really tastes anything. Fry it in the pan, you can have shitloads of it, chuck it in some eggs. Don't really taste anything. I don't like veg, so I totally get that, and I totally get where you're coming from, but courgettes and spinach for me, I don't think really taste of anything, so I just chuck together. Or lettuce, you know, it's just one of those fucking things, just man the fuck up. If anything, just smash it into prior your meal, and then you enjoy your meal separately. If you want to put your veg in one bowl, and then your food in another bowl, smash the shit out of the veg, just get into you, sweat it down with some water, fucking onto your main meal, bosh. And then the last one I have, which is a really pathetic one, are you strong? Relatively. Like, I don't fucking, no, not in comparison to most people. Not in comparison to most fucking, the only thing I am strong on is any rowing movements. I'm normally prone because I've got a glass lower back. But T-bar rows I'm pretty strong on, and any sort of row forming machines, any sort of machine where it comes to rowing, I'll match a lot of people on. Pressing is dog. I have fucking monster long limbs, and my legs are weak as piss. But I don't give a fucking shit because I don't believe strength is a true indicator of muscle quality and size. So, yeah. It's been 31 minutes. I apologise that it's not the video that I wanted it to be. However, that will come once it's been uncorrupted. and hopefully this is some sort of insight and some sort of knowledge. I will chuck after this video my update of my current physique and how we're looking, and then basically this weekend we're going to get filming again and we'll get you some more content. Back on a journey, all aboard the gain train, as they say. Nothing stops this train. I believe it's what Tom Haines got to doing this for a while. And let's get after it. I'll have a sick week, have a sick weekend. Enjoy the sun, guys. I certainly will. And yeah, if you've got any questions, comments, anything like that, then leave it below. I'll get back to you. Other than that, have a absolutely sick weekend. Like, comment, subscribe. Get massive. Massive. Oh, massive. Although I'm not massive, but you can get massive. Just get bigger than me, that's all that matters. As long as you're bigger than the next guy. Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Again. Quads coming in, mate. Ooh.